Okay, hey, it's episode 9 of the Prairie Dawgs podcast, brought to you again by Rumors Comedy Club, #1 club in the country.
Great episode, massive episode, big episode today.
First ever guest?
Yes, first ever guest. Canadian comic legend Mark Forward is here. We talk with him. He hates me calling him that. I don't care.
Yeah, he talks to us about going to Clown College. He's a proud graduate of Clown College.
We talk about dying a lot.
Yeah, more than we'd like to. And Winnipeg man, Monty Hall.
Winnipeg man.
The full Monty.
Area man, Monty Hall.
Area man, Monty Hall.
Is here.
It's episode 9 of the Prairie Dawgs podcast, and it's going to start as soon as the beat drops.
Oh, then you just start. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, from the intro. So yeah, we're here with Mark Forward.
Mark Forward.
Our first ever guest.
Canadian comedy.
Am I your first ever?
Ever.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We
First
held
one.
the dog on camera for one of the episodes, but that's it.
What episode number are we on?
9.
9.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
not that impressive at
No,
all.
it's really not.
No, but it is impressive having you here. You're a Canadian comedy legend. Hey, come on now.
That is not true in any shape, sense.
You
or
are a
form.
Canadian comic, though.
I am a Canadian comic. That part is true.
All right, there
But
you go.
beyond those words, no other adjective applied.
You're a Winnipeg comedy icon. People love you here.
Haven't sold out one show this week.
That's not true.
Nope, that's not true at all either.
Well,
so let's move on from that idea
didn't-
as well.
I wasn't talking volume. I was talking in the way they do it. You know?
Well, here's the thing I do love about this point in my dying career is I'm not going to start off so negative. I do love that people come that know what they're coming for. That's something I am glad that I've worked hard towards, and I'm sure you guys are working towards as well. It's nice to start at like a level 3 instead of starting at 0 every night.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
very nice.
So people being there and wanting to be there is something we work hard towards, and I'm glad that I'm there. So whether it's sold out or not, I don't care. But the people that are there to see me, and that's nice.
Yeah, that is very important. T-Pain walked a couple people the other day because they said, quote, too many bad words.
Yeah, I swore too much for them. It wasn't for them. They walked. It's okay. They were nice. And their friends, though, stayed behind. And I was like, do you have a problem? I'm sorry. This is just the way I talk. And they were like, we love you. She's crazy. And then there was like a little friend battle. So it was a win. It was a win.
Sounds like those people shouldn't have been there in the first
They
place.
shouldn't have been there. And I wasn't dirty. I'm not talking about fucking jizz and 9/11. It was just a couple F words, you know?
You're not doing your jizz 9/11 joke
No,
anymore?
not anymore. Not anymore.
I was going to say he wasn't talking about that at that moment.
At that moment.
Well, you were like, the jizz is going to hit the second tower. That bit's not working anymore.
Dude, man.
A second load.
Dude, but how'd all that cum get on building 7, though? That's the thing.
It shouldn't melt cum like that.
Yeah, cum can melt steel.
Cool.
Can it?
Well, you've been
Cool. 9/11. Rap.
next segment.
Yeah.
You've been coming to Winnipeg long enough now. That like, do you like things? Like, do you feel like it's a nice, or is it still just like I gotta get back home? Do you see it on? Do you see it on the road schedule and go nice? That will be fun.
For sure, but I'm also at a place where I'm kind of pick and choosing where I want to go.
Sure.
So, I don't really go anywhere anymore that I don't want to.
If it's on there, you like it.
Yes,
That's nice.
That's nice. That's good.
That's also a luxury. So you're going to places you like, performing for people that like you.
yeah. I mean, it's probably detrimental to my career, but it's not detrimental to my sanity and my love of doing it.
Yeah, work-life balance, right? You got
Yeah.
that. You're doing that now. And you're also sober, right?
Yeah.
You're sober now. So coming to different places, it's not a party booze fest anymore. Now it's work, and it's like, that's going to suck. That's going to suck hanging out there for 2 days in a hotel room doing nothing. Like,
To be honest, it's a lot more enjoyable than it was.
really?
Yeah, because you're not struggling through it, and you're not tired, and you're not hurting, and you remember what you said the night before, and you didn't lose it on the guy in the front row because he looked at you weird, and you didn't say something stupid to another comic, and
Sure.
you're saying things with intent and meaning, and you can stand behind them, and
Yeah.
so all of that rage and problems are gone, which is great. So it's more a peaceful visit.
Hell yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Did you find that shit got more boring? I mean, like, because you're not making any good stories. I found that when I got sober, it took a little adjusting to where you're just sitting there quietly for the evening, and then you go home, and it's like, am I a drag on people now?
Yeah, I did have a bit of that, but I remember my friend Graham Chittenden, who's also a comic, said, wait till you see how the party actually ends at 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you're not missing anything after those hours. So when I started noticing that, I was like, oh yeah, like the party was over at 10:30 and all the shit you did afterwards was just garbage.
It was garbage. There's actually a famous story about Winnipeg comic Dan Verville, who started to get a little nervous that he had like a bit of FOMO that he was missing out on all the good times we were having. And then one time he decided to hang out, and it was like 3 drunk comics who had locked their keys in the car and we're trying to figure out, like, I don't have CAA. And then he was like, oh yeah, no, I'm not missing anything. I'm going to go home to bed with my wife and children.
Yeah.
I think I'm doing good.
It's kind of like working out. I think after about like a week of working out, or in this case, not drinking or whatever, you're kind of like, oh, this is easy, and why have I not been doing it? And also, I was a loser.
Yeah. And also, I sucked.
Yeah, it's all fear-based, right? Like, I won't fit in. How am I going to operate? I only know this. There's alcohol everywhere we go. But once you get through that, it's the best.
It really is the best. Yeah. Sobriety. Try it sometime, TK.
I'm not like sober. I'm not like, out there waving the flag, but I was telling him I haven't had a drink in probably, close to a month now.
Oh,
it's pretty good.
Yep.
Great.
Next segment.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, okay. I'm sorry. Did you don't start somewhere?
That was a bigger hole than 9/11, to be honest.
Second drink has hit my lips.
No, good for you. Anytime is good time.
Yeah, that's
but
what I was going to say.
Also, I'm not someone that's like, stop. Everyone should stop. I'm not going to be that guy either. Like,
Yeah, that guy sucks more than the other guy, I think.
Yeah. If you're having fun, great.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had enough. I'd done enough.
Got my fair share. I think I should back off. Let everyone else
leave
drink from the
some for
well
everyone
here.
else.
Yeah, you did your part. You drank the drinks.
Oh my God, I drank so much. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was like, show up at the hotel and be like, okay, where do I get it?
Yeah.
And then I would get a box of wine for a weekend. And mostly so that I couldn't see how much I was drinking.
Oh, smart.
Right?
That's actually smart.
Right?
We talked about that, how if the canister is dark, it keeps you from not knowing what
keeps you
color it
guessing.
is. You shouldn't
Yeah.
know sometimes how much or what color.
Yeah. So I had this box in the room and I was like, okay, well, I don't know how much I've partaked in
There
it.
could be anything in that box. We don't know.
As long as you don't pick it up,
yeah.
then you're okay.
You're fine.
Feeling a little
Yeah.
light.
And then by, Saturday, you're pumping the bag.
Oh, yeah, the old bagpipe.
Yeah, get it out.
Cool.
Yeah.
See, there's cool stuff about drinking. That sounds cool. Like when you
No.
say that, you're like, oh, pumping the bag of wine like a...
But it's like thinking about high school, right? Like there's now that I'm out of high school years and years later, you only remember that time and remember that good time. So drinking has come like that for me, where I'm like, oh, remember that fun time?
Yeah.
And you don't remember the slog and the garbage and the
Slog and the long mornings.
sweating on airplanes.
Yeah.
I thought that was just part of it. I thought airplane just made me feel that way, to be honest. That's like it's the gravity or whatever.
It's actually quite normal to just have an enjoyable flight.
I thought what was happening is that gravity was working harder as we took off, so it was pulling the sweat out of my body.
Well, it's kind of true, but it also makes you fart more and cry more.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I don't want to get. This isn't a science-based.
Shitting and crying.
Yeah.
That's
I was going to say, it
classic drinking.
definitely makes you poop yourself too. Our buddy Mike owns an Airbnb, and he said a lady pooped herself there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if I can even say that. That's why I didn't say her name, so.
Well, because of booze?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, shit. Damn,
Pretty
dude.
funny.
Wow.
Once you're shitting yourself, you need to. That's a problem. I mean,
Should be a wake-up call, but you'd be surprised for how many people things like that are not a wake-up call.
honestly, they're just like, hey, that's the life.
Yeah, my stand-up teacher in college was famous for shitting himself on stage.
Sorry, what was that first part again?
When I went to stand-up school in college.
What?
Yeah.
You were taught by a clown man that shit himself on stage?
I went to the Humber Comedy Program for the first year it was ever existed.
So you really took a chance.
I did. And yeah, my stand-up teacher was very well known for eating too much at the buffet the night before. and he shit himself on stage.
On stage.
Yeah, and he was the MC. And shit himself
The MC that
at
shit
the
himself.
opening, shit himself, and then brought an act up and went and cleaned himself up, and then came back and finished the show.
What
That's
a
actually
performer.
respectful. That's
Wow.
actually- yeah.
That's
I would've gone home.
incredible. But
Yeah.
he shit himself numerous times, or it was just that
He
one
just
time?
shit himself. Kept, ladies and gentlemen, here's your first act. The whole front row probably smelled
It's like being
that
near a
he shit his
baby.
pants, and then he came back. I wouldn't have that sort of fortitude or
No.
fight. I'd be like, "That's it.
Yeah.
Like
gotta-
that's it."
I got to call this set I shit myself.
Also, I wouldn't teach comedy 10 years later when everyone know I shit my pants. But he would also teach us things like take batteries from the remotes at the hotel, and he would teach us to take light bulbs.
Damn.
But he would say, don't take them all.
That's smart.
Because the hotel will know. But if you take one, they won't notice. And then over the year, from each hotel, you'll get enough light bulbs
He's a
for your house.
True road
There's no way that man
comic.
had a house, though, is the thing. He's got all these light bulbs, and what are you putting him in?
He had a tackle box that he said every comic should have, and I've never seen one since that anyone has ever had. But he had a tackle box.
Every comic
it
has
had like
this.
it has a spare mic and
Oh, like a toolkit.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like electrical tape in case anything was broken.
Small
Some
canister of pepper spray.
beverages,
Yeah.
like some cans of pop and
That's
stuff
cool.
in it.
You're not James Bourne. Is
Well,
it James Bourne?
it sounds
Jason
stupid,
Bourne.
but that's where Tim the Toolman Taylor got it from.
Oh yeah, from
Oh,
my
yeah.
stand-up teacher.
Yeah, he took the same class, and he was like, "Toolman, that's kind of smart."
tackle box.
Toolkit.
That's what I'm doing wrong.
So I learned a lot.
Yeah,
I learned a lot.
and so here you are.
Yeah, and then he would he would do oh god, it was such a terrible course. It was great because then this guy came from New York for 2 weeks and actually taught us stand up, and we're like, oh, that's what we should be learning. But we would all write heckles on a piece of paper, put it in the jar, and then you'd go and stand at the mic, and someone would pull one out and say it to you.
Oh, shit.
It sounds like a show that someone would run in Toronto.
So terrible.
It's like, what are we learning?
And then so I remember the first time I stood up at the mic for this fucking shitting pant fucking dickhead. And
Let's see what you got, kid.
and I was doing what I wanted to do in comedy, and he stopped me and said, "What are you doing? Some sort of character?" And that killed me for about 2 years. So I started being a comic I didn't want to be, and then it took me a while to get back to. So that's I don't know why I'm telling that story.
That
but-
sucks, though. That is deflating. Because I was going to mention that when you said that the people that are coming out now they want to see you, which is nice because you are. It's not I don't know. It's not traditional. You do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So if you want to come out in the space suit or in the safari suit or whatever,
Yeah.
they're like not. They're on board instead
I don't
of being
have
like.
to teach them, and I don't have to bring them in. They know what to expect.
Yeah.
But it was funny because when I was doing Yucks, Matt Billen, rest his soul, he was the first guy that opened my eyes to comedy. Because I came off a show in Edmonton, I think, at the casino, and I came off and I was like, oh man, half that crowd fucking hated me. And he goes, yeah, that's exactly what you want. He goes, if they all liked you, you wouldn't be doing something different. And I was
Sure.
like, oh, yeah.
That's very true.
Now, of course, there are comedians that they're just shit and half the crowd doesn't
Yeah.
like them. But I took it as a bit of a lesson because I didn't want to be. I remember also watching another Yucks comic and going, that guy's just killing generically throughout.
Sure. Yeah.
And I didn't want to be.
You want
That.
to you want to piss some people off.
Yeah, or at least people go, yeah, that wasn't for me.
Say
Yeah.
his name too. You don't have to. You know, it's most of them. It's most of them.
I will drop a name. Super funny dude.
Oh, okay, good
Toronto
one.
comic. Yeah, Chris Locke. He kind of has the same thing where when he was at Rumors,
Yeah.
I would say 50-60% of the people are quiet and they're like, what the hell is this? But the rest of the people are dying.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, that's got to be a good and bad feeling because
I think it's where you're starting to find your audience, and then hopefully when you come back, more of those people come, and over time, that's how you build.
that's the whole room.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I like the way that it makes those people also think that aren't enjoying it. They're seeing everyone else laughing. they're bent over laughing and they're going, am I dumb? Like, do I not get it? That's good. Thinking that for a minute.
But it's weird, right? Because comedy is so weird that way because people go to bands and go, I don't like this band, but it doesn't become, this existential thought of like, well, you're wrong for liking that band. No, we just go, oh, I don't like that band.
That is true. That's very true. I've never looked at it that way. People are so willing to be like, you're wrong for laughing.
Yes.
I don't understand why you're laughing and you're stupid for doing it.
Yeah. But
totally.
but you walk by like a band that you don't like and see everybody having a good time, you wouldn't go, what's wrong with those people?
Yeah.
If you're enjoying that music.
Yeah, you'd be like, not for me. That's not my. What is that? Grindcore? I'm good.
Imagine
Thank
walking
you.
up to a busker and just emptying out his case and being like, you don't deserve it.
Yeah, exactly. Who gave you money?
They're
It's
not even your
weird.
songs.
It is weird. Comedy's attacked so strangely.
Yeah.
But that's my response to most people that online go, this isn't funny. I just go, you forgot to me. You forgot
Yeah.
Sure.
to me. Like, it's okay that you don't find it funny,
Yeah.
but just make sure you're saying it's just me.
I will say, even as a comic, though, I have that where it's like even if a bunch of people are laughing, I'm looking at the people who aren't laughing, and I'll be like, what am I doing wrong?
Don't.
Why don't you like me? I don't understand why. I'm likable
Don't.
as fuck. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, because my
it
opinion
sucks.
is where you were like, oh, add to me. When they comment, this isn't funny, I like to reply, yes, it is. Like, you're actually
It
just
is,
wrong.
though.
Like,
you are wrong.
right, like it is funny, but then just agree that
Yeah.
like it is funny and then add your point. Not to you, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
that is music. You never say that's not music. You just say, I don't like that music.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it's weird. But
And so you graduated?
yeah, I did. I'm really proud. It was a 1 year.
What year was
1 year
that?
program.
I'm not going to believe this. 2001.
2000. It was, last year.
Hell yeah.
What was the sell on what you do with that diploma after?
Oh God, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. It was useless. But what it did do is it showed me where clubs were. I got, it was a little
Sure.
fast tracked into you weren't walking into a room cold, which might have prevented me from trying. But yeah, other than that, I learned some things. But yeah, I mean, you can't make people funny. That's what they always
Yeah.
say.
Do they have
But they
any?
could teach.
But you can make them funnier.
You can make them funnier, and also you can teach basic shit. Some people don't know to move the mic stand.
100%.
Some people don't know, like, walk to the front of the stage or command the stage a little bit. So those little technicals, I can see there being a good class for that. If this guy wasn't busy shitting his pants, maybe he would have taught you that.
The American guy came in and taught us mic technique and make sure you move it, because there's nothing more infuriating than watching someone do a set behind the mic stand.
The mic stand, move that.
Yeah.
He doesn't even ask what I do for work. This guy sucks.
Yeah, dude.
I'm sitting there with a great job, front row, just waiting for him to ask me.
I only ask you what year that was because in 2005, you won a Canadian Comedy Award for the best newcomer.
Yeah, I've never won anything since, so I guess I didn't excel.
That was it.
That was it.
Well, that's okay. They don't give those, more recent winners are like Ed the Sock. So
Right.
don't sweat it.
Yeah. Ed the Sock was sick, though. He was great.
He's sick?
No.
Oh.
But he was like our version of Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. Ed the Sock was great.
Was he?
Well,
Or was he the only thing we had?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think
It could have been a blank sock and that guy would have got
I
funding.
was like, that's Canadian Triumph right there. But he was he had a thing. He was on music videos. He wasn't as rude as Triumph or as funny, but he had his moments.
I think he's very political now. You know how I know he went downhill is that he followed me on Instagram like many years ago.
Okay.
Just unsolicited.
so you,
No one. That's not a big name anymore.
So your personal worth decreases
No, his
somebody's
worth. Yeah.
because they follow you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's, I'm sorry you're living.
Well, it
that-
doesn't decrease it when they follow. It does. That's not what causes the decrease. But for their careers to have landed at a point where they're like, "Oh, let me follow this guy."
Yeah.
What happened?
No, I know. Totally.
You know?
You should be ignoring me. Like the Salisbury House, they followed me the other day. Like, that
Perfectly in
restaurant's
line.
in trouble, dude.
I
There's
think
no
that's
reason.
actually in line.
Maybe, but why would they follow me? And I don't follow
What
them.
is the Salisbury House? A restaurant?
It's
Oh,
like
you
a
don't know about
Winnipeg,
Sal's?
Winnipeg-based restaurant started by Burton Cummings of,
Oh,
of
cool.
the Guess Who.
So don't question it. Lean into it.
All
you have a
right.
podcast. Try to get them to
I mean, shout out to Sal's. They got a $9 breakfast in the basement.
That's
it's
better.
It's great.
I think as Canadians, we're so willing to shit ourselves down like you just did. And why would this steakhouse follow me? Use it. You know, if an American comic was on this right now, they'd be selling the shit out of themselves.
That is true.
Sorry, Ed the sock. Hey, I'll wear you. Get on my hand. We could collab on something.
I mean, he's a bit of an idiot. But
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's all. Hey, so you get it?
Yeah. You ever? I mean, you're in the industry, in the Canadian film industry. You ever rub shoulders with some famous people? You ever who's the most famous?
That's the most vague thing I've ever heard.
I don't know. Who's the most famous person to ever shake your hand?
What's the metrics? I don't know.
Like Celine Dion.
Net worth.
Celine Dion, no.
Rick Campanelli.
And she's not shaking anybody's hand. She lives in a bio chamber. But anyways.
I've met some famous people.
What's it to you?
Well, because I want to know if there's any dicks, if these people are cool, or if there's any.
I have no dick stories. I wish I did,
nice.
but I don't.
Okay.
I mean,
You must not have met Mick Foley.
I opened for
He's okay.
Burr in Toronto,
Oh shit, dude.
and he found out weeks later that I had done it for free, and was very upset at that. And he tracked me down, DM'd me, and said, "I heard you didn't get paid for that gig, so I want to send you some money."
Hell yeah. Oh, you followed up? That's huge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I did I agreed to that. Don't worry about it. Blah, blah, blah. And he said, "Stop being a fucking Canadian and give me your address." And then he sent a check.
Hell yeah.
To pay me. So, yeah, I have very little shit
stories. That's a great story, though. I mean, that's a good one.
Yeah,
You tend to remember the good ones more anyway.
Yeah, I can't. I really don't have any. I mean, I worked for Yuck Yuck, so there's a lot of guys you don't know that are shitty.
Yeah.
But we've all been shitty.
Not me.
You got a perfect track record.
Started good and things have been good.
Wow.
I never got any
amazing.
better, but
This guy 1000% has been shitty. This guy is the ragiest comic in the Winnipeg comedy scene. I'm just going to say it right now.
I won Best Newcomer 2006, year
Nice.
after him.
Good
Yeah,
for
but
you.
you also cursed out this 85-year-old golf marshal at the
Yeah, that's
course.
true. That's
because
unrelated
he was
to comedy.
I know, but still.
Is the rage still there, or have you been working on it?
No, I'm not working on it.
No work being done.
It's
too
within
funny.
me. I'm trying to get it out.
Okay, that's one way to look at it.
Yeah,
I think
totally.
it's the only way to look at it. What do I hold it in? No way.
You gotta let the demons out by yelling at people and making them feel
I
bad.
feel like when you're older, you're gonna regret.
Yeah. Lumps start popping up just out of pressure alone.
But good luck.
We'll see. No one loves. I was going to say this about how you're like people knock down Canadians, and especially I think it's a Winnipeg thing because we don't even like our Winnipeggers.
No.
Like we have like a handful, like Burton Cummings. People are just like, yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
He got bottled here once. You know that?
Like really?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
at a 7-Eleven in the North End. There was a guy who was arguing with the cashier, and the cashier was trying to say, "No, we banned you from here. You're some other guy." And he wasn't. He was like, "No, you didn't ban me. You banned some other guy. Just give me a fucking pizza pop," was the quote.
Yeah.
And Burton Cummings, I guess, was behind in line, and he was like, "Hey, punk, I think it's time you get out of here," and tried to like mad dog him. And the guy turned around, didn't know who he was. He's like, "The fuck did you say to me?" And bottled him in the head.
Yeah, Burton Cummings, not that tough. Canadian music legend, but Winnipeg North End, bro, head down, keep quiet.
Yep.
Not your fight. Stay out of it.
And he was wrong. He ended up being wrong. Like it was the wrong guy. They were harassing him for no reason. So now Bert was just dogpiling on some racism for no reason.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to be a hero. Just stick to
That's
the
a fun little
Salisbury
Winnipeg story.
sticks. Yeah.
Here's another. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
No, I mean, I was picturing like Burton Cummings like being bottled because he's Burton Cummings. That's just a random.
Hey, Bert.
Hey, Bert, I've been looking for you. These eyes
Are bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is funny that the ultimate proof of a Canadian band, even to find success, had to write about an American woman.
Yeah.
Nice work.
That's
there.
pretty
Nice
fun.
work.
Yeah, but well, I mean, we're even with the hip, right? Like we're always like, yeah, but they're good. Just because they didn't break out in the States, they're good. So we like them, and we're proud that we like them. But we get so like
We get so, yeah.
we can't just say we like them.
Yeah.
Period.
No, it's insecure. It's like, it doesn't matter that the Americans don't. We still,
Yeah.
they're good. It's like, no, they're good. They're objectively good.
Yeah.
And they played on SNL
Yep.
For
Pretty cool.
God's sake, that's like the peak, the
Yeah.
pinnacle of any band.
But that's supposed to be the jumping off point, right? Where they just become big in the States and they didn't.
They didn't.
And so we are all insecure about it.
And it's kind of weird that they never kind of broke that threshold. They had they were put out there to the world, and America was just kind of like, yeah, we don't love the sound,
Yeah.
which is fine. But how did that work? That just at the divide of these fake,
That's
land borders, they were like, we don't like that sound.
Well, they're singing about like David Milgaard, the Brandon Wheat Kings. It's tough from somebody in like
That's
Tampa.
true. They're singing about the
Tampa
Stanley
Bay.
Cup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Bill Barilko.
Yeah, you know what? As soon as you said it, I was like, you know what? Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Not a lot of people from SoCal going to connect with.
Yeah, I retract my
Bob
question.
Cajun.
Hey, pal, I retract.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's hip, not to use the name for their band, but it's hip Canadian moments.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Bonnies.
those old commercials, like it's just
Yeah.
cooling up those.
And then
They
you
are
got,
good.
You got bands like Nickelback who did blow up. Why? Because they're singing, hey, you look good with something in your mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Crazy song.
everyone from Louisiana up to Yellowknife is like, yeah, that's horny as hell. This is good.
I've heard of horny.
Yeah, I know horny.
Finally, relatable Canadians.
Yeah, totally. These Canadians are horny too. Cool.
Well, a fun thing we like to do on the podcast,
Yeah.
and a main thing that we do mostly really, is we'll talk about someone that's like notable or famous that came from Winnipeg that you might go, oh, I didn't know that was from here. So last week we talked about a guy called Bill Stevenson, it's pronounced Stevenson, Little Bill Stevenson, who was trained the CIA before it was the CIA. He was like a super spy, Winston Churchill's personal spy.
He was like the real James Bond.
Yeah.
He was like the
Yeah.
inspiration for James Bond. He came from Winnipeg.
Wow.
So we'll kind of profile people like that.
Okay.
And so this week I've picked for us.
Winnie the Pooh.
That's a good one.
Oh shit.
That's a
dude.
good one.
Hell yeah. Okay.
What do you know about Winnie?
I know it was a bear
All right.
here. That's about it.
Yeah, he was a Winnipeg Bear.
I know the 30-second commercial, right? That was on TV.
Oh,
where
sure.
Yeah. The Heritage
the
moment.
kid was
Yeah.
like, Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, I love that bear. It was actually a soldier that was going over to the war, and at like between train stations, a soldier from Winnipeg,
Right.
a guy was selling a bear, and he was like, I better take that bear off your hands
Totally.
Right.
to
And then
train it for war.
Yeah.
He took the train to Halifax and then it exploded.
It's all
Yeah.
connected.
Yeah.
Him and
and then
his
Laura
bear.
Secord.
He asked who Laura Secord was the other week. He was like, who's that lady that ran across the country or whatever? Oh, one of the nation's greatest heroes.
Totally.
So anyway, this week I picked Monty Hall.
Oh, Monty Hall. I know Monty Hall from
Of
Let's
what-
Make a Deal fame.
Yeah, of Winnipeg. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that?
I don't know Monty Hall at all.
Monty Hall was our Dick Clark. Do you know Dick Clark? He's
Yeah.
dead too. He's probably
You got to go one further.
Yeah, he would be our.
You know Conan O'Brien? You know Wayne Brady?
yeah,
Just the guy that
pretty
replaced him.
much, yeah. Like it was like he was our. Any game show had him as the host. And
We don't
had
really have
we
that guy
had a
now.
lot of game shows back then.
Yeah.
and he was our.
Oh,
guy.
who's the Latin guy from Saved by the Bell?
Mario Lopez.
Mario Lopez.
He's like that.
Okay.
He's kind of like
Yeah.
hosting everything all the time now.
He's always
Yeah,
there.
but imagine a white guy
Yeah.
yeah.
with perfectly combed hair, Lego
Wow,
hair.
good hair. Really good hair.
Yeah.
Clip-on style hair.
Yeah, he did. There's I think there's an old comics where they had like Jimmy Walker and, but I can't remember what the name of that show is, and he hosted it. But it was like, it was something about they would set a premise for a joke, and then each comic would say a punchline.
Okay.
And then the
that's fun.
contestant had to pick which one was the real punchline. But I was like,
They're all the real
there's
punchline.
nothing written. It's not written in copyright law
Totally.
that that's the punchline, but that was the premise of the show. And he hosted it. Monty Hall. There you go. So,
Like
tell
a
us about him.
Precursor
Monty Hall.
to Who's Line almost, that sounds like.
Was he
But with
born and
stand-up.
raised here?
Yeah, so he's born in Winnipeg, 1921.
Oh, good year.
Yeah, one of the greatest years.
Good year for men.
Lived for fucking ever. Died in 2017 at 96.
Holy shit. Almost made it.
Yep.
To 100.
Yep.
You
Almost
didn't-
made it
you
to the
didn't-
end.
Yeah, he didn't make it.
He made a deal with God.
Yeah, Orthodox Jewish parents. They owned a slaughterhouse, and he was raised in the North End, in fact, which is our rougher neighborhood, which we've actually come to find like these rougher neighborhoods seem to birth a lot of these very successful people.
Yeah. Also, episode 9, second person that's worked at a slaughterhouse or had slaughterhouse connections. I didn't.
Well, was Winnipeg a big? Was that?
I didn't think
I mean,
it was.
Maple Leaf is on the corner. You can smell it sometimes.
That's true, but they just have guys in there to, you know what I mean, all the time.
You have a misunderstanding
Seems weird to me.
You have a fundamental misunderstanding of slaughterhouses.
No,
but
I don't. That's how they do it.
More or
They have a
less.
Glock 9 and they kill the cows.
And
It's not good.
he went to St. John's High School and graduated from the University of Manitoba with a Bachelor of Science.
Huh.
Yep.
I wonder how he made the leap to television hosting.
Man, I'd love to tell you.
Man, that would be sick. How did he make it in the Canadian
He majored.
industry?
I just wanted to say that he majored in chemistry and zoology.
Okay.
And then he hoped to go to medical school, but he was not admitted due to secret quotas that kept Jewish people out.
Weird.
yeah.
Yep. So he, the zoology thing I was going to say is funny because on Let's Make a Deal, they always had animals behind one of the doors
Right.
to be like, that's the prize.
Sorry, to keep Jews out of what?
Just everything.
They had
The school in this case, but I mean, like golf clubs had this. All sorts of institutions had these things.
they had secret quotas to limit the number of Jews.
Some of
I've never
them,
heard
some
that.
of them publicly. Some of them would just be straight up like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I heard your hair's too curly. They'd say,
we're at max Jew.
Yep.
That's not
which is zero
that's
for them in a lot of cases. They'd be like, we're
crazy.
Yep. Yeah. So he worked for CKRC in radio in Winnipeg. That's how he got into
here we
broadcasting.
go.
Worked actually for the Canadian Wheat Board.
All right.
That's Winnipegan. You know?
In like a media capacity.
No, just for wheat.
Okay.
Just for wheat.
He's crunching numbers. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Moved to Toronto where he worked with Chum. Chum is still around.
Yeah.
The radio.
Chum, Much
radio
Music, right?
networked. And that's where he got his stage name, Monty Hall. He's born Monty Halperin. Monty being Monte.
Okay.
Monty Halperin.
Yeah. And so they misspelt it, and he said, that's good. I'll take that.
I always thought Monty Hall was a venue for some reason. I've heard the name, but I always thought it was like I'm like, yeah, dude, I'd love to play there sometime. But no, it's a dude.
It's guys like Monty Hall that make me sometimes go, this goal of we're trying to be famous and be remembered, and it doesn't matter how much fame you get, you will be forgotten,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Like he was a very well-known human being. He was on television all the time, and nobody will remember.
Died
Yeah.
less than 10 years ago.
Yeah, and it's over. So, you know what? If you're striving for fame, stop it.
Stop it.
Monty Hall rule.
Yeah, he should have stuck with zoology.
Yeah.
I will say that he did inspire, in theory, the Monty Hall problem is named after him, of course. So in deal, Let's Make a Deal, they'll have 3 doors.
Yeah.
And they'll go, hey, pick a door, right? And then the contestant will pick a door, and behind 2 of the doors is what do they call them? Zonks.
Yeah.
Which is like it'll be a zebra or a goat
Okay.
or a wheelbarrow full of shit.
Okay.
And the third one is like a trip or cash or whatever. So
Okay.
they'll pick a door. That's your door. And then he'll say, all right, let's open that door. And they'll open one that has a goat on it or whatever. And then he'll say, now, do you want to switch doors? Mm-hmm. Do you want to keep the door you have?
Keep the door you have or choose the other one.
Now, knowing that there was,
And the law of averages is you keep your door, correct?
yes.
Yes.
That's the Monty Hall. It's like a math thing.
Or I think,
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
or yeah, so there's, probability comes into it because now that you know one of the zonks is out, you're sitting at 50% probability sort of thing. The probability goes down effectively. So now the probability is 1 out of 2. He said, though, kind of, yeah, it seems pretty obvious. Sort of, they write
not at
papers
all.
being like, now the odds are lower of you getting a bad prize. Like,
No, I'm such a moron. I was like, are they? I don't know what's happening.
well, if it was laid out in front of you, I think
No,
you
but
would,
the human instinct is to switch.
Oh yeah. Bad door. Let's pick a new door.
Yeah, I better go for that.
Okay.
But
You're saying-
mathematically, you stay with your door.
Stay with your door.
and so he said that's what he assumed that they would assume, that they would, after opening the nothing door or whatever, that they'd think the odds on their door had now gone up. So actually, he said they hated to give up the door. No matter how much money he offered, he'd then go, I want your door. I'll give you $100. They go, no, now I'm sure there's something in mine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right.
And he go, I'll give you 200. They go, no, because you showed me the zong, so I'm sure there's something in mine. Despite it still just being like 50-50 now,
50-50.
you know?
Yeah.
But he made it clear that he was like, sometimes I wouldn't even give him the option. I would just be like, open the other door. You want your door? Open it. Because he knew what was behind each door. So if they picked a zonk, he would be like trying to get them off of it, knowing they'd be like, I want to keep my door.
Oh,
He'd go,
okay,
okay.
yeah.
So now you're turning down $200 and you're going to keep your door? That's a good TV. Now open it. It's a zebra.
Ah, fucking idiot.
So that's fun.
Nice.
Yep. Bit of a sicko.
Yeah.
No, he looks bad when he, I guess you guys can see the picture here, but he looked bad when he was old.
Oh, I thought you were going to say in his coffin.
Well, wait till you see that picture.
Dude, he looked bad when he was dead.
Which coffin do you want to be in, Monty?
Pick one.
Pick one.
Pick one.
There's 3 coffins.
One's already got a zebra in it.
He's quiet. It means he wants to stay.
Do you guys want to be buried or cremated?
You know, I've thought about this. Actually, let's get into this for a second because they have this thing where you get cremated and then you get mixed with soil and then they plant a seed and then a tree grows out of your remains and that is your tree.
Putrid tree.
Okay.
So I think I'm doing that when I die.
Yeah. That's
If they recover the body, of course.
You think you're good for tree?
Good for tree?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like you think you'd make a good tree?
It'll be a weird one. It'll be a
what I'm
weird tree and it's going to have termites instantly, but still. I think I'm going to go with the way of the tree. You can kind of extend your life.
Where do you want it to be?
My apartment in the parking lot. How are you going to go?
I asked you a question. Where do you want your fucking tree?
Well, I don't know, man, because I got to buy a house. So ideally, it'll be the house, but I don't.
You want the tree to be in your house?
Because it has to be my private property. They can't just plug me in a park.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, it can.
You think so?
Yeah,
Cutting
you
down
can
a-
ask.
That's sick to pull out a tree.
Lots of people get buried in weird places all the time.
Yeah.
Have you ever
know what?
questioned why a tree was somewhere?
No, but at the same time, the city is like, that tree's not allowed to be there. Tear
Right.
it.
But then your kids would be like, that tree's my dad.
My dad
They're
is
chaining
this tree.
themselves to you.
I
You
think
can't.
you just have to apply for permission, and then you could be planted where you want to be planted.
Probably on the banks of the Red River then. Right on the banks of the Red River. Let some
Okay.
kids, drink beers by the river like I always used to. And
Okay.
then, boom, have a nice little...
Trees don't normally survive well on the banks of rivers. So,
I'll be dead, so who gives a shit?
well, then who cares if you're in a tree?
That's
Like,
just... dump my
you're-
ashes in the river. Then.
you had a beautiful start,
Yeah.
and then you kind of bailed on your own belief system.
He's not sure what he believes.
Classic.
I think that's what the problem is.
A lot of this podcast is us figuring out what we do believe.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are still younger than me, and you're still at that age where probably sometimes you talk when you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, no.
Right?
Yeah, well, I just start it like a lawnmower and I just
Yeah.
let it see where it's
Yeah.
going to go.
Yeah.
I get asked a question, I have to have an answer.
Yeah.
I'm still
I
there.
remember that pressure, and I don't have it anymore. When I don't know, I just stop talking.
To be fair, he didn't know, and you said, I asked you a damn question.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but to
guys have
come
all
out
this
and say,
pressure.
I think I want to be put in a tree, and then not think of where that tree will be or how it will live and how long it'll be there.
Oh, sure.
That's someone to me that's just saying an answer like I just said. Like he hasn't thought it through.
So then what?
So he only answered the question because I asked it,
That's true.
as opposed to,
as opposed to I truly want to be in a tree.
I didn't think it would go this far where I
Exactly,
had to...
because you thought you had to answer the question. You're just proving my point that you're still at a point in your
Yeah.
life where you thought you needed an answer, and you could have said, "I don't know."
I don't know. I haven't thought this through.
That's what I'm saying. That feels like an attack, but it's not.
I want to be a tree. That's as far as I know.
Yeah,
I want to
there
be
you
a
go.
tree. Yeah.
Great.
Nice.
I think that's great. I'd like to. I don't know. I used to think I wanted to be buried because I'm not religious, but then I used to have some sort of part of my brain that would be like, well, what if I need my liver and my heart and my eyes wherever we go? Which is such a weird thought for someone that thinks there's nothing after this.
yeah.
But yet you still have those thoughts, and then slowly I've gone to cremation. But then, like, I saw Scrooged, the movie where he's in the. You ever seen Scrooge, the
No.
Christmas movie, where he's in the coffin and they put him in and he's on fire and he's screaming to get out?
Yeah.
That sort of lived rent free in my brain.
Well, you'd be dead. You'd be dead. so let
hopefully
that
you'll
one
I
go.
know, but
Yeah.
it's so human to go, you're going to be dead. but we still think, yeah, but I'll be there watching it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I do want to see it. That's the thing. Whatever it is, that's why your tree answer sort of resonated, because I was like, I would want to know where the tree is, and I would go check on the tree.
Yeah.
I would see if the tree was fruit bearing. Like,
But we can all admit that we all know we're not going to be there.
No,
We're
probably
not going
not.
to be there to
But
watch
in our
it.
brain, we're going to be there.
But I think that's what fuels. I've said this before, like that thought of being like, but I think I might be there.
I think I might.
That fuels the pursuit of like trying scientifically or otherwise to find like there's got to be something.
There's got to be
Or
something.
there's got to be, because you're just like, because I'm going to be there.
We're going to watch it. Yeah,
Like that's the proof, is like,
exactly.
I know there's something because of how I'm going to be there.
Well, I just remember someone tried to call me about death and said, well, you don't remember before you were born, so it'll be like that. And I was like, that's terrifying now.
Now that my brain is activated, that seems, I've heard that one before too. And I go, and then you try to picture it and you go, well, yeah, but what about my podcast?
Yeah, exactly.
So I won't be able to do that, or no? Like,
Exactly. The Stoics always said, I don't know, it was one of those guys, they said that, why are you scared of death? If anything, like there's only two options. Either you'll just take a long sleep, and sleep is great, or it'll just be a change into something else, which is also great. So why worry? But I was thinking like, yeah, but when you go to bed, you're going to bed under the premise that I'm going to wake up refreshed. You know what I mean? I'm not, you know how terrifying it would be to take a nap and like not know if you were ever going to wake up from that?
welcome to being old.
Yeah.
The closest thing that kind of eased me was like, someone said, everyone's done it.
That's
I was like,
true.
Okay.
Yeah, but if everyone jumped off a cliff, would you do it?
I'm just saying, like, everybody in history has done it.
Yeah.
And they, went through it and did it.
Yeah.
So,
You ever seen a dead person?
yeah, lots.
What?
Chill, dude.
Well, I'm
Damn.
old, so
Yeah, sure,
I've
but you don't have
seen
to. You don't have to demand to see them all.
No, I make sure to see anywhere I know there's a dead person. I make sure to be seen.
I look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only ask because I've only seen one, and there's nothing, at least in my brain. I don't know if this is maybe whatever, but there's nothing you can tell yourself that can override the thought that when you touch this body, just to be like, oh man, they're there or whatever.
Yeah.
That he's not going to be like,
Yeah.
yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
so I was like, I didn't want to touch because I was like,
Well,
that'll
it's
wake him up.
incomprehensible, right? Like death is incomprehensible.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense to us. And just like space. Like
No,
people
I
can
got
tell you
space
how
covered.
people can tell you how far away something is, but you can't comprehend it.
No.
So yeah, you see a body and you think, well, they're just asleep for a bit. And,
Yeah.
But
There's-
the makeup's really bad and they're really puffy and they don't really look like themselves.
Yeah, they look really sick.
Oh,
And
I
you
saw,
think there's
like, I had a
this
fresh
sick
one,
person.
unfortunately. So it was like,
Oh, like they just died?
yeah.
Oh,
Like,
God, that's
they were gonna be
traumatic.
like, well, they took him to the hospital where we there went, and they were like, yeah, he's toast.
Was this a friend of yours?
My father-in-law.
Oh my God, I'm
Damn,
so sorry.
dude.
Yeah, I'm okay, but I just meant it to say that it's like when you see someone dead, you're like, you want to just like touch them to be like, okay, just for some.
Okay,
wanna
I just
touch
want to
it.
clarify. I've never seen recently dead.
No.
Okay, yeah, so that changes things. That's what I meant. That
Yeah.
they take you in to be like, I'm sorry, he's passed, and you're
Yes.
like, okay, yeah, you're sad, and then you want to just like touch to be like, okay, this is sort of grounding to be like, yeah, all right, he's gone. But when you touch, your brain's like, in any minute now, he's
Yeah.
gonna go, you cocksucker.
Yeah. Hey, weird question. Feel free not to answer, but when you touched him, was he cold already?
I went over shirt. I didn't want to
Over shirt.
Yeah, I didn't
okay.
want to. I didn't want any
Because
part of
that
it.
would be weird to like touch someone and not feel any warmth. That's because it's like touching that. That would fuck with your brain a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like because this is not what it's supposed to be.
That's what it is. It's not what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Start dancing.
Yeah. Exactly. Wake up. What are you doing?
Warm.
Warm up.
Do you guys always get this dark on your comedy podcast?
No, it really went this
No,
way.
it really. You brought us here.
Yeah. We didn't have to answer these questions though. That's the thing.
We're
I
going
think
to
you
get
thought
our
it was
first
important.
guest. He's a comedian, and it's going to be a barrel of laughs, everyone.
I've seen a ton of dead bodies.
We got best newcomer graduate of the comedy college.
It is a crazy thought, though. No one on Earth has ever survived. No one has ever.
Everyone's done it.
Everyone has done it. That's
Unless
crazy.
though,
Unless
maybe there is.
reptilian.
Maybe there is.
Another beautiful thought, maybe gets us out of this, but like more people have not lived than have lived. So be thankful that you got to do it.
It is true.
More people have not been born
True.
that could have been born
Yeah.
than have been born.
No.
So,
There's a lot of loads going down the drain. Those
Yeah.
are all potential. So
Yeah,
we
so,
made it.
we did it.
It's special.
yeah, just enjoy every moment of it.
And Monty Hall died.
Of?
Death. He's 90.
Tragic.
96. He actually passed away a couple of weeks after his wife died. So a broken heart.
Oh shit.
It does happen. They just like, the body's just kind of like, what is left for me here?
Yeah. That's romantic as hell. I mean, I don't like hearing when they die, but if my mom died, my dad would follow
Yeah.
a month after.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
something to look forward to.
If my mom died, it'd be because my dad did it.
I just remember my grandmother was told she has cancer, and she went home and just took everything she owns and split it up into 2 piles in the living room for her 2 sons, and then just prepared to die.
Holy shit.
She left
That's
the piles
yours.
there? or-
Like, yeah, like she was like, okay, you get 1 roll of toilet paper, and you get 1 roll, and
You
started
get this
splitting
beanie
it up,
baby.
and there
You
was
get
2
this
piles.
beanie baby.
And she had survivable cancer,
Oh shit.
so she just said, "That's it, I'm out."
How old
Damn.
though?
She was 49.
Oh, that's wow. Ma'am,
No, she
ma'am,
wasn't
excuse
49.
me.
No, she was.
You've got time.
Who's her doctor? Jesus.
No, she was like 80 something.
That's
I
pretty
just remember coming home and she would sleep in my bed. Anyway,
in kind of a way that is kind of badass. It's like she made a choice. She was just like, divvy it up, boys. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then just there's kind of a power to that, you know?
yeah, I guess just owning it and taking it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But then factor in that it was, like a bad cold. You're like, stop splitting it up.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Survivable.
You're good.
But then she also like had to live, like, so she probably was like upstairs going to the bathroom and was like, oh shit, I put all the toilet paper in those piles.
Yeah, I hate to be tixie backsies, but
I'm
Yeah.
gonna take this 1 roll and then I'll take 1 roll from you.
it was sort of implied you could have it when I am dead.
yeah, I know what the will says. I need that. Yeah.
Hey, so he hosted 4,700 episodes. 4,700 episodes of Let's Make a Deal.
Wow, it ran a long time.
Damn.
Yeah. He's obviously inducted into Canada's Walk of Fame. He's a member of the Order of Canada, Order of Manitoba as well. In his 90s, he made his last appearance on Let's Make a Deal with Wayne Brady hosting.
Wow.
And just kind of like popped out and waved, and they were like, good. And then they carted him back out. So
Yeah.
he was already not really like, he didn't really speak or, whatever.
Yeah.
He joked that it's inspired by a math problem, obviously, like the 3 doors and the whatever. And people would tirelessly be like, what about this? What about that? And he said, they make me sound like a math professor. I was just trying to give away a goat.
Yeah.
That's great. What a great line.
totally.
Like I was just trying to trick people into taking the goat. That's all I wanted to do. And the costumes, which you might be familiar with, because the whole show now, everyone shows up in costumes. And then Wayne Brady will be like, I got $50 if someone can pull out a golf tee.
Yeah.
And then if you go golf tee, he'll give you $50 or whatever. But it wasn't always that way. One woman just showed up in an outfit,
Oh, she started it all.
and he was
Oh.
like, okay,
We're doing
come on up here.
costumes.
Come on up here. So then the next week, people were like, oh, if I do a costume, I can get on.
Yeah.
And then before you know
okay.
it, the whole audience is costume, and there's one guy in a suit like, I'd love to make a deal.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of evolved itself. And they say that because he was just good at improv, quick and generous, that it was always warm and not cruel when he wasn't doing standard crowd work now.
Well,
What's your job? It sucks. Your wife's ugly.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. All right.
He was nice, a sweetheart, a real
I was,
mensch.
I was going to ask what kind of game show host would be cruel and unfunny.
I don't know.
Some are.
Some
Well,
are.
keep in mind, this guy was kind of he was the first one.
He was the first
So
one,
all of them
okay.
follow his.
I mean, Richard Dawson, he got a little handsy. He got
There
a
you
little-
go.
He did get a little handsy.
He was kind
a
of
little kissy.
a little kissy, and he demanded it. He would wait there while the cameras were on. He'd be like, "Come on, come here," and it would be silent in there. And then the girl would be like, and he'd be like, "All right, now we can continue the show." It was kind of coercive. It was kind of like,
We're just innocent men.
Remember Fergie on Just Like Mom? He would get the little kids to kiss him.
No, when you said Fergie, I'm so far. When you said Fergie, I was like from the Black Eyed Peas.
yeah,
What do you mean? Who's Fergie?
what show was that?
I don't want to get sued for libel.
Just like,
I
oh
don't know
yeah,
if
that's
the
a
guy's
crazy one. No,
dead or not.
yeah. I've seen the photo. Now, as soon as I looked it up,
It was Just Like Mom, and they would make like the kid would make a recipe. Like they would bake a cookie,
this is a Canadian show.
and then the mom would come back and the 3 cookies of the kids would be there, and the mom had to pick which cookie their kid made.
Mom, pick a cookie. You come here and kiss me.
It was kind of like the Newlywed Game, which is still probably something that is not a reference people remember. But like the one spouse would leave, they would ask questions of the one spouse, and the other spouse would come back, and they'd have to try to match the answer that the other person said. But this was between moms and their kid. But then this Fergie guy.
Yeah, so at the end of the Wikipedia article, there's a 1-sentence section that says controversy. The show was criticized for the behavior of the host, Oliver, with children, including kissing them on the mouth, sometimes against their wishes.
What? Against their wishes.
Yeah,
I'm glad it's in Wiki and I didn't.
No, when you Google Fergie just like mom, the first image search is him just like kissing a young girl on
and
the
he
mouth.
used to be involved with the Blue Jays or something. Like he was
crazy.
A Blue Jays announcer?
Yeah, this was in Toronto, so it
Weird.
sounds about right.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he would have little girls.
Not in Canada's Hall of Fame. However,
Well-
born in Moose Jaw, so maybe we'll cover him one day.
Yeah.
maybe we'll circle back, and every week someone surprises us with someone new.
What's his name? Fergie? Did I get it right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Fergie Oliver, which is kind of weird. Not Oliver, Olver. It says.
Yeah, I'm
probably-
pretty sure he was a baseball announcer.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, probably wrap it up.
Sure.
Getting
Yeah.
close,
So
sorry.
Monty Hall raised over
sorry.
$1 billion for charity in his lifetime.
Oh, yeah. So,
Can he kiss a couple of kids? He's doing good work.
This guy should get a peck. Give him a peck.
Please, give him a medal. Let him kiss the kids. He's
So
doing
that's
good stuff.
That's Monty Hall.
sorry I kept you.
No, that's fine. That's Monty Hall. That's Mark Forward,
Monty Hall. What neighborhood from Winnipeg?
North End.
Why did
North End.
Why did you just say we should wrap it up? I'm just asking.
Well, because we're coming up on an hour, and you got a busy day. You're a busy
People
guy.
don't like to listen for more than an hour. It doesn't matter who you are.
No,
All right.
yeah.
We could
There
have
you
the
go.
president on here, and they'd be like, "We get it."
Sorry.
No, I didn't think it was a me thing, but thanks for that. No, I just wondered if there was a.
No reason other than that. Just time.
Yeah.
We've done it.
We've actually got Fergie coming in as a
We've
guest.
completed. Bring him in. He's going to kiss Mark on the
Yeah,
lips.
totally.
God,
Bring
can we
Lucy
do
here.
5 extra minutes so we don't have the Fergie part.
Yeah, we could. Well, we'll see. It's not live.
Fergie's fine. Fergie's
written
good.
already, and we didn't write it.
Plus,
on
yeah, it's in the
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. He's known for this. so
No, it's very strange.
you're not spreading libel. The kids, the guy's making out with kids. What do you want?
I think he might
Fergie.
be dead though. Was he dead?
I did not check that part. I would just wish that upon him. I think.
Yeah, me too.
He's a tree now. He's
Now he's a really putrid, crippled over tree.
and no kids go near it.
I like the tree idea though.
Oh yeah. So what about you?
Yeah, what are you going to do when you die?
Cremated, blasted into space.
That appeals to me. To be
Okay.
honest with you,
Then you're already
I
up
don't
there.
like the jewelry thing. I don't like the
Oh yeah,
just spreading the ashes somewhere is nice.
Yeah.
Where would you want him? You got a
I
spot?
don't care. Water
All right.
somewhere
Water.
where there's water.
Kind of a bit.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
we all rot.
That's
We all
legally
go-
binding.
We all go back into the earth. So I think that's a good idea. Just spread it on the earth. I find it weird too when they have the little.
Well, there is
jewelry.
composting now, right? Like you can compost yourself.
Oh, I don't want to be
What?
smelly rot in the backyard.
Yeah, like there's a composting version of this.
I would totally do it. Let me rot and
There you
come
go.
see me.
Look
Oh,
it up.
You will. Oh, you will.
Look it up.
I will.
Well,
I don't know enough about it to keep talking about it.
I think that's the Prairie Dawgs podcast.
Mark, I heard that you absolutely crushed it at Rumors last night by a
thanks.
very good source, by some fans.
It's true.
So,
It was described as 57 minutes of scream laughing.
yeah.
I said, that sounds
that's
like a
what it
nightmare.
was.
Yeah,
The whole crowd just going,
You guys know when? Yeah, it was terrifying.
No, but the
it's-
reviews are in.
Well, it was fun, and it's the first show, so there's going to be some train wrecks this weekend because it can't go up. It has to go.
Those are
down.
fun too, though.
down.
You know what I mean?
Those are
There's
so
nothing better than being in the
entertaining.
crowd for a unique show.
Yeah, honestly. Especially a unique show that's kind of going a little wrong for everybody involved.
Yeah.
It's a good time. It's still a good time. That's the thing. It's painful, but it's fun. It's still weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks again for having us. Prairie Dawgs podcast brought to you again
I didn't
by...
have you. You had me.
Yeah, so what did I say? Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, thanks for having us here in your studio.
Oh,
There she is.
Lucy, star of Lucy's Comedy Club.
Yep.
She wants off the table.
me incredibly
You're not
nervous
jumping again, bro.
instantly.
By the way, if you ever have to give dogs medication in the ear or in the mouth or put them on a table, a lot of people don't know this. Put them on a table, then see how docile
Yeah, she's quite docile.
Yeah. So
Wow.
if you ever have trouble getting medication in your dog, just put it on a table and then give it to them, and they won't bother.
Hell yeah.
Is that why doctors do have you lay on the table like that when you get to the office?
Yeah, totally.
But honestly, look
Makes
at
me
the
more-
tails between the
makes me more
legs,
docile.
how timid she's being.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I can pick up her ear.
I could put a
Meds in there.
pill right in that butt, no problem.
That's honestly, I learned that not too long ago. Put your dog on a table.
That's
If
from
you're
comedy
gonna-
college. You learned that?
Yeah,
That's part
it
of
was
the degree.
same teacher. Same teacher.
He said, "I might shit my pants, but I can get a pill in a dog's ear like no other."
Why would you put a pill in there?
I don't know. I thought that's what you said.
No, it's medication. I just said.
I just assumed it was a pill. I guess
Jamming a pill in
it
her
would
ear.
fall out. I don't know why I thought that. All right, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Prairie Dogs brought to you by
Prairie Dogs.
Rumors Comedy Club once again.
100%. I guess if you're seeing this, Mark has already been there. But Mark, you're a Winnipeg legend, a Canadian legend, and you're fucking crushing it. What a great guest. Thank you so much for coming,
thanks,
Man,
man.
I
man.
appreciate it.
Cheers.
Totally. And shout out, sorry, quickly.
It's already cut. It's
Shout
cut.
out to Tim Gray
cut.
and Ash Dad. It cut. Okay. But listen, we love you.
And 5 more minutes. And 5 more minutes.
You made it to the end for some reason.
Watch another YouTube video.
Do it.
It'll be here. It'll be there.
There's links all over the place.
Shorts, longs, mediums.
Just start clicking.
We got it all.
All right.